Good morning. I'm Don Seibert. I'm owner of a company called Smokenders in Birmingham, Alabama. I come here without a lot of alphabet after my name. But I have a little experience. I was a 20-year, 3-pack-a-day smoker, and I quit in 1981, have never wanted a cigarette since. I quit using a program called Smokenders and been so excited about it, I bought the company. So I come here today to talk about transferring that technology from smoking cessation to vaping cessation. By means of introduction, Smokenders is a behavioral approach to smoking cessation, was taught all over the country from 1969 until 2012, and since then we've had it on online course. And we've taught over 1 million people how to quit. It's a 7-week course across 4 threads that involve the physical, psychological, cultural, and social aspects of smoking. We do it now by a 1-week video class each week with daily action steps that the student uses, and we guarantee that they'll quit smoking or they get their money back. I have no association with any organization. I get all of my pay from smokers who are trying to quit. So, a little history lesson. This goes back, this is a CDC slide from, it represents, the green line represents adult smoking from 1965 until when Seibert, the Surgeon General, announced the epidemic of tobacco until this 2014. And you can notice that there's been a gradual decline in smoking cessation. Advent of NRT happened with patches in 1997 and with Chantix and other drugs in 2006. And they have not affected the rate of reduction significantly at all. Before 1996, when NRT was patches introduced, a smoker could only do cold turkey or they could do Smokenders. There was no other option. Now smokers have 4 options. But here's the therapies that are out there now. There's nicotine replacement therapies, drug therapies. They all have limited success rates of 7 to 20% effective. And we use a behavioral approach. Our participants continue to smoke while they learn how to quit. And we treat them along the physical aspect. We wean them effectively over 4 weeks from their nicotine addiction down to where they're smoking nothing but a filter at the end. And it becomes very easy for them to quit at that point. But more importantly for us are the psychological issues, dealing with the dependency on smoking, conditioned responses, those sorts of things. And the social aspects, breaking the linkages between nicotine and food, nicotine and caffeine and alcohol. Culturally, we address their stress, anxiety, and depression characteristics. Our program requires a commitment to the process of quitting. You can't just go to a course and say, oh, we're going to give you this, because we've learned that the smoker has to have skin in the game. They have to have something to motivate them, an incentive to make them want to quit. Without that commitment, even giving our program away, we've had very little success. But we're still effective 60% of the time. So we're about to introduce a product called Vapenders, which is a derivative product from our Smokenders course. We began planning this about this time last year, and it's based on our Smokenders course. We've taken out everything out of the Smokenders course that had to do with physical cigarettes, and we put in things having to do with vaping and with teens in particular. And we're now in the final throes of developing a mobile app so that the teens can have it on their phone, which is how they communicate. And our first release, we currently have focus groups going for parents and for youth, and our first release is due out this quarter. Should be by the end of March, with general consumption available sometime spring, summer. We're going to develop another product which is for adult vape users who have been smokers. That's a whole different world from what we're talking about today. It's acceptable to us, to a lot of people, that vaping is a least harmful alternative to smoking. We're going to address that, but that's not the topic of Vapenders today. So addressing the teen vaping market, we're going to take a little different approach than what I've been hearing. We have to market it through the parents and guardians of these teens. First of all, it's illegal for us to sell anything to a teen. We can't enter into a contract, especially for a product that they're not allowed to buy. We ask them to continue to vape for 4 weeks while we teach them how to get off of it. It's we wean them. We can't recommend they do that. It would be against the law for us to do that. So we're going back to the parents, and to do that, it's a big challenge to educate the parents about what their teen is involved with. Many of them don't even know that the teen is vaping, and we're what did I do here? I backed it up the wrong way. Okay. We want the teen to have support of the parent for education and motivation, and to provide an awareness of the dangers. And right, the teens deal in the here. The teens only look at here and now. They can't think about the future. We want to attain commitment to quitting as a family team of parent and teen, to provide a level of accountability and support and open communications. When I say open communications, that many times doesn't happen at all between parents and teens. So we have to help educate that to make it happen. It's an educational process as much as a marketing thing. We will only provide our course where commitment between parent and teen exists. Along those lines, there's a document that's out by the CDC. It's Talk with Your Teen About E-Cigarettes. It's a very, very good document. I would encourage you to go on the CDC site, get it down, go on my site, vapenders.com. We'll get it downloaded free. It's a great vehicle for parents to use in talking with their teen. And it helps in the communication of the problem and what can be done about it. When we sell the course, it'll be sold for $250 up front, which is nothing compared to the lifetime cost of nicotine addiction. If the teen quits within the first couple of weeks, they get $200 back and we walk away. If the teen completes the course, they get $100. That's a motivation. It's a reward for them on the successful completion of the program. If they fail to complete the program, we take that $100 and donate it to the Drug-Free Clubs of America, which is a school-based program that's coming all over the country to assist in helping teens to be drug-free. Our biggest obstacles in marketing this are gaining market awareness of the problem, the product, and helping parents deal with it, educating them about the vaping epidemic. We've created a little booklet. You know, when you buy a car, you get an instruction manual in the car. It teaches you all about how the radio works and vents and everything else. When you get a baby at the hospital, all you get is a bag of diapers and some formula maybe. But so we've put together an instruction manual for parents that are dealing with the vaping crisis to show them how to deal with it and how to work with their teen. That's a difficult thing to get the education going at two different levels, because educating the teens is a whole different animal, because they consider themselves invulnerable to any kind of health risks or financial risks or any other risks. There are no risks in their life. They live in the here and now. In and for the moment, they have little interest in the future, except whether they can have a date with Mary on Saturday night, or whatever. So we got to get the parents and teens talking to each other unemotionally. Usually when parents find out their teen is vaping, they try to stop them with disciplinary action. You're grounded. I'll cut off your budget. All that doesn't work. We're dealing with an addiction here. You can't overcome addiction with legality. So we got to get them talking to one another, and we got to achieve a commitment from all parties to crush the vaping. We, compared to nicotine, Vapenders to Smokenders, we know that nicotine is nicotine. It's got the same 2-hour half-life, all that. But the psychological dependencies, many are the same, but vape users can't have had a 20-year addiction like I had. They can only have a few years. But their other issues are bigger. The flavors in vapes versus cigarette taste, dealing with handling the peer pressure. There's never going to be a drug that handles peer pressure. So we can't fight this with drugs alone. We're certain that Vapenders can effectively deal with the situation. We just need to figure out how to get commitment from a parent team group to have skin in the game. I thank you very much and open to questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'd like to open it to the panel for clarifying questions.
I may have missed this, but can you speak to what experience you have with smoke and